The 100th Rose Bowl came down to this. Michigan State needing a play, and Kyler Elsworth on a 4th and 1, making his first career start, comes up with a defensive stop that gives Mark D'Antonio and Michigan State the Rose Bowl win, 24-20 over Stanford. Welcome back to our continuing BTN coverage from Pasadena. Kyler Elsworth joins us now, and Kyler, if you can hear me over the din, what is going through your mind right now?
This is a dream come true. Unfortunate predicament, how it happened, but took advantage of the opportunity that was at hand. Myself, Darren Harris really competed for that starting spot all week. I was fortunate enough, to get the go-ahead. But Darren Harris and I, it was never a selfish, I want to start. Both of us want to start, but both of us are still giving each other tips, telling each other what we can do to make each other better. Because in the end, we want to win the Rose Bowl. That's what we wanted to do.
Kyler, Goodrich, Michigan's favorite son tonight, But the thing about it, and you mentioned before, and you just answered Dave, 5th-year senior. Well, I want to tell you, you earned your scholarship tonight, That was maybe probably the best scholarship they ever gave out. But, you think about it, so many times we've seen players like yourself, really good in special teams, but they hang in there, they keep that great attitude, they just wait for their opportunity. What went through your mind all those years while you were sitting in those meeting rooms just waiting for a chance like this?
Every week we fill out a goal sheet. One of my goal sheets was, keep a positive attitude, keep a right mindset, keep working, and good things will happen. And, I filled it out, and every goal sheet has my last goal. And, it came full frontal right here where, keep working, prepare and practice is going to be your opportunity. You never know when it's going to come. And it was a situation where, I was able to step in, and I did pretty well, it sounds like.
Kyler, what was the most difficult thing about being put in this position?
The most difficult thing I feel is the communication role. Max Bull is a very vocal leader. Not only a great football player, a very vocal leader, and he runs the show of the defense. So the hardest part was, stepping in and taking over that role where 10 other guys now are looking at you to be the guy to tell them when we're audible and when we're trading, when we're doing whatever. So I knew it, but the toughest part is, being that vocal guy, getting all the other 10 guys on the same page.
Was there a time during preparation or tonight when you knew you had the ability to communicate and get everybody lined up?
I always felt like in my preparation throughout the year, I had the ability and was continuing to learn from Max, continuing to learn from the coaches, and like you said, waiting for that opportunity. And tonight was that opportunity, and I feel like I took advantage of that.
When did you know, from a defensive standpoint, you guys really started to get a grasp on what Stanford was trying to do to you?
Going into halftime, we felt real good about what they're going to do. They ran a few plays one time. They didn't really mimic too many plays over and over again. But the whole week we knew, Stanford they're not going to hide what they're going to do. They're going to run the ball. They're going to line up in the eye, run the power. So I feel like in halftime, we really felt we knew what they were doing, and we felt confident in our ability of what we were doing to stop that. So that's when we came out and really stepped up as a defense.
I know one of the things we talked about all week was particularly a defensive line. The question was whether or not they were going to be able to hold up versus the jumbo package. Now, you don't make plays unless the big guys up front are doing their job. Tell me about their performance tonight.
Oh, the defensive line was phenomenal. There was multiple times in the game where I had to audible blitzes, shade fronts, and like you said, I was trying to be more vocal. And the defense line stepped up their preparation this week. Where not only is I the one saying it, but if I get it down to Tyler Hoover was echoing it to Makasha Reynolds and so forth. So those guys they stepped up their game, not only playing ability, but they stepped up their leadership role as being a vocal player. And I think that only benefits our defense in the long run for next year.
Kyler, along the same lines, here it is at the end of the game, that shot we saw in the film. It's 4th down and 1. They come out with the jumbo set. Here is the game. What's going through your mind?
When they lined up, they had real tight splits. We talked about it all week that there's not going to be a run-through lane. The only opportunity, there it is right there. The only opportunity there was to go over the top, launch yourself. But when you do that, you leave the ground. And if you don't make the play, then there's no change in direction. So you kind of I'm glad he handed the ball off. I'm glad it was that guy. Otherwise, I wouldn't be up here.
When you gamble and get it right, that's a good thing. Hey, before we let you go, I noticed in the pregame you had Max Bola's number and name on your towel. What kind of communication have you had with Max, and what has his message been to you?
I talked to Max on Christmas when they announced that he wasn't going to be playing in the game, and I talked to him yesterday. And you know, both times he really wanted to, direct the focus back to the game. He didn't want the focus to be about him. He said, it's your turn, it's your time. Step up, take a leadership role in this team, like you can, like I know you can, and really had faith in the team. Basically he was just saying, focus on what we came down here to do. And, I think our team did real well at that. Like I said, it's a shock to the system when, the quarterback of your defense is not playing in the game. But, our team stepped up. And like I said, the D-line communicated better. The DBs communicated better. The linebackers communicated better. So I think, it really benefited our team in the long run.
5 years on this team, one start in the biggest game they played, and coming up with arguably the biggest play of that game. Kyler Elsworth, congratulations on persevering and getting this win here tonight.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. Kyler Elsworth,